Can you discuss a little bit the cross-platform strategy that King employs?
I think it all comes down to accessibility. If you have a game and it's a great game, like we hope to, and you find a user playing on Facebook, for example, and that user has a friend who doesn't like Facebook, then we should be able to offer that game on Android and iOS, even for people that don't have Facebook. And the other way around, if you have a friend who's playing Candy Crush Saga on their iPhone, but you don't have an iPhone, then we need to offer it on Facebook as well. So accessibility to the greatest extent that we can offer the games, that's one part. The other one is if you in fact have access to several of these platforms, you should be able to play and retain your progress and synchronized virtual goods and your friends and your high scores regardless of where you play. So a lot of our users actually play on their iPhone on their way to work and when they're commuting. And then when they get to work, well, they don't tell their bosses this, but when they get to work, they tend to play on Facebook on their work computers, and then on the way home, they play again on their iPhone, and it's still the same progression, the same experience, whatever platform they're on. So it's about accessibility for people, different people, but also accessibility for individuals in playing at different times and places of the day.
How have you seen the proliferation of tablets impact the mobile space? Because people tend to play on tablets even at home, even when they have a console or a PC there.
Right, so I think tablets, I don't have any data to support this, but I think tablet gaming tends to be at home on the couch or when traveling for longer distances. So it's sort of replacing the console for some people, but it's also opening up a much bigger game audience to people who have never invested $400 in a PlayStation because it may feel foreign to them to have a console at home and hook it up to the TV. Instead, they buy an iPad as a home entertainment device where they can shop, browse the internet, use Facebook, and then eventually they start playing games as well. So I think it's a real door opener for us, and it's probably the best experience in terms of hardware that you can get in casual games right now.
What excites you about where the mobile gaming space is headed when you look at all the new smartphones that are being introduced, all the new tablets, and the lower price points that's attracting a bigger audience?
I think it's definitely the bigger audience that excites companies like ourselves. You know, the immense growth in the mobile games or mobile device industry is just incredible. I think we're already over 1 billion devices globally, and we're probably going to be over 2 billion within 12 to 18 months. I mean, I think it's definitely, I think right now is the time where we can reach, as game developers, the biggest audience ever. The conditions in the marketplace have never been as good as today, but they're going to be even better tomorrow and next week and a few months from now. So it's just incredible. It's an incredible time to be in the games industry right now.
What are the challenges when it comes to just not only the bigger audience, but a lot more competition across the board, but especially in the free-to-play and casual gaming space?
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of, at the same time, the audience is growing, the number of developers is also growing, which is, it's great to see all these games out there. I think we're going to see some breakout hits from small indie developers. I think that's going to continue to happen. A couple of big hits a month, sometimes helped by editorial features by Apple or Google Play, sometimes helped by their own virality or just inherently fantastic gameplay like Minecraft or other big breakout games. But I think long term, the more games you make as a developer, the better you become at it. So I think that we're very well positioned long term to continue our growth in both expanding number of games but also making even better games. So I think that as most industries, experience creates excellence, and then over time you're in a very strong position to make products that your customers love.
What role do the brands behind these games play as the field gets more crowded, especially when you look at the cross-platform approach that you guys are taking, and take Bubble Witch Saga as an example, as a game that you can play across different platforms, but having that brand established?
I think that the Saga brand is formalizing. I think people start recognizing our games from Bubble Witch Saga to Candy Crush Saga to Pet Rescue Saga. I think that helps. Hopefully our own brand as a developer is also a stamp of approval that this is going to be a high quality experience. Then in terms of the games, I think what we're seeing now, Bubble Witch Saga was launched on Facebook in October of 2011. So that game is a year and a half old and is still being played by millions every day on Facebook. So I think we're seeing a longevity of the games that we haven't experienced before. And I think that's a really strong sign that we create game experiences that last. These are not games you turn over one per month, but these are experiences we build when we find something that's gold for our users or an experience they really appreciate. They can play for a couple of years, the same game. So from that perspective, if you use a product or play a game over and over almost daily for 2 years, it's obviously going to be a very strong brand for you as a customer.
And the last thing, can you talk a little bit about the strategy when it comes to deciding what it is that's going to come over to the mobile space? Because you've done a couple of games so far, but how are you deciding what is it that's going to transition?
I think we first of all look at what our audience, what our players want. We get a lot of customer requests for, I want this game on my iPhone, I want this game on my Android. So that's really encouraging. But the other one is that we feel that the mobile versions will have to be as good or even better than the web version. Not all games are conducive to touchscreens, but some games are even more fun on mobile devices than on the web. Personally, I think that Candy Crush, for example, is even more fun to play on an iPad or an iPhone or an Samsung Galaxy than it is on a PC, because it feels better to move them around. Whereas some other game formats may not have that effect. They may not be conducive to a 4-inch monitor. So we look at what the customers want and what's really feasible in terms of user experience, and what we think will be a fantastic game on mobile devices.